You're here on the Empire with me, Dave, and this evening I am going to be building a new PC. So, behind me over this shoulder here, you can see a bunch of cool and interesting PC parts that I am going to be using in this build. I'm going to spend maybe like 30-40 seconds talking about them, and then I'm just going to get stuck straight into it because, quite honestly, I'm excited and I want to get this thing built pronto. Motherboard. It's a Z170N Mini ITX gaming-based motherboard. It's got the Z170, which allows me to overclock. That's going to be paired with an Intel K-series processor. Processor, Core i7, 6700K, LGA 1151. This thing starts at 4 GHz and can be overclocked quite happily. That, with the motherboard and hopefully the cooler I've got, should mean that I should be looking at maybe 4.4 GHz. We'll see. Solid state drive. This is an M2 PCIe Express NVMe, which is non-volatile memory express based SSD. This is far faster than the SATA 3 standard, which is sort of the norm for the 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch sort of solid states and spinny disks that you get. So this thing should be lightning quick. 32 gigabytes of DDR4 running at 3200 megahertz, I think. Yep, 3200. And it's got LED lighting on it, which is kind of cool and might be a terrible decision. We'll see. Zalman, low profile, copper based CPU cooler. So I'm not going to go for liquid cooling in this one. My case choice this time just is too small. I just can't do it. So I've used this before. I think this is the next best thing. One 700 watt power supply, 80 plus platinum rated SFXL, which means it is a small form factor power supply. This is the best small form factor power supply you can put your hands on at the moment. So the 80 plus platinum means that it can also kind of oversupply to 750 watt if it's necessary for it to do so. This is going to make sure that my CPU and GPU can be overclocked and that everything is going to be able to run at full tilt without any problems whatsoever. You're looking at the Raven RVZ02 Mini ITX micro tower case. It is a gaming focused case. The top perspex window here is designed to show off the graphics card, which is offset in 90 degrees. So the motherboard lives sort of in this space and the graphics card lives up here, and there's a riser that offsets that and allows you to have everything looking very cool and obviously quite exposed so that people can go, ooh, what a nice computer. So this is what I'm going to be building everything into, and what I have not included in this video thus far is my graphics card, which is an NVIDIA GTX 980 Ti, and also 1 terabyte of solid state drive storage, which is in 2.5 inch SSD form factor, and will be put into a RAID 0. So yeah, let's get started. And I'm back. So, guys and gals, it is much later. It has probably been about 2.25 hours since I said I was going to get started on making this PC. You may have seen a few hiccups in the time lapse video that I took there. First and foremost, the thing that didn't work is my heatsink. The big copper heatsink that I purchased for this doesn't fit over the top of the LED illuminated memory modules. So it turns out that they were a huge mistake, but fortunately I had a stock cooler to fall back on. Now obviously that's less than ideal, particularly for a Core i7 K-series processor, but at the moment it meant that I could actually complete the build, and now I have an opportunity to do a bit more research on alternatives for coolers. It is cheaper for me to replace the cooler than it is for me to replace the memory, so that's probably what I'm going to do there. Apart from that, everything else seems to have gone pretty well. Windows 10 is installed, everything is updated. I even had the opportunity to smash Forza Motorsport 6 Apex for Windows 10 on there. Obviously there's going to be a shed load of games getting downloaded. I did also quickly fire up 3D Mark as well, which has given me an extra couple thousand points on Firestrike, and it has also improved my Time Spy benchmark scores. But fortunately everything went together nicely except for the heatsink. Powered on first time, you know, got post, got Windows 10, everything installed very smoothly. So yeah, it's been interesting. What we have here is the start of the Tiny Gaming Rig 2.0. So any of our gaming benchmarks that are done on the PC will be run on this machine. So that is a Core i7 6700K. It is a G170 motherboard. It is 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and it is an NVIDIA GTX 980 Ti with 6 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory. So, thanks very much for watching this video. If you were interested in building a PC, particularly a Mini ITX one, I hope it was a little bit educational. Don't make the same mistakes I did. If you're going to put in an air cooler, low profile memory, if you're going to buy large profile memory, just make sure that your heatsink is not going to encroach upon that space. So yeah, you know, all the best, get building, and if you've got any feedback, comments, don't forget to put them underneath this video. And as always, like, comment, favorite and subscribe to The Empire for more of these videos. Thanks very much. This was Dave.